So good morning, and thanks a million for joining me on the mat this morning. This week's focus is on the lower limbs, feet and ankles. When we're talking about the lower limbs, obviously, of course, we're also including those lovely hips. So if there's any little instabilities or imbalances within the hips, chances are we're going to find them down into our foundation. And likewise, if we've any little niggles or imbalances in our foundation, in our feet and our ankles and our lower legs, we're going to find that transfer back up into the hips. So I want you to be really mindful of what's going on with the body this morning. Just notice if we do have a little imbalance, say in the right hip, are we feeling that imbalance into the right ankle, or vice versa into the left hip, the left ankle? So the body generally runs in this kind of little zigzag pattern where we have little compensation. So if the hip on the right is a little bit, we might find that in the knee on the left and then the ankle on the right. So I want you to just listen to the body and just tune in, try to paint a little story about what's going on with those lower limbs this morning. And hopefully we don't find those nails and they're not there at all. But again, I just want you to be really mindful of that this morning. We're not going to go too deep into any of the muscles, particularly the hamstrings. So again, we're just looking for a nice release when we're working into our stretches and a nice engagement when we're working into our strength. So we're going to start in a nice, easy cross-legged seat. Sitting as tall and as long into the spine as we can. We'll open into the heart, draw the belly in. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling. And we'll inhale the arms out, reach it up. Interlock fingers, press the palms to the ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward and stretch. We'll do that twice more. So a nice big stretch as we inhale, look up. And as we exhale, press forward and release. We'll do that once more. From here, we're going to straighten both legs out in front. Get nice and comfortable. We're drawing the toes toward the face, adjust the sit bones as you can. We're going to hug the right knee in until the foot's in line with the left, and then shift the sit bones forward to meet the heel. Crossing the right leg over the left, we're going to extend the left arm forward and wrap it around the right leg. Really hug that leg into the body. Again, continuing to draw the toe toward the knee, or if you want to go a little bit deep into the hips, we can bend the left knee and tuck that heel close to the sit bone, but just make sure that right sit bone is on the earth. We'll inhale the right arm up, and as we exhale, gently twist to the right. We'll place the right hand on the ground behind us. Inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthening tall. And as we exhale, gently twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Taking one more breath. Gently inhale back to center. Small little twist to the left, just to release. And then back to center again. If the left heel is tucked in, we're going to straighten the leg out. We'll hug that right knee toward the elbow, and then we'll place the foot to the other side. We're going to soften the left knee, and we're going to reach for our strap or our towel, and we're going to wrap it around the ball of that left foot. Again, being conscious of the hamstring as we straighten the leg. And holding on to either end, and we're facing that left foot. And again, when we're feeling in the hamstring, it's just the center of the muscle. If we're feeling it more so in behind the knee or up near the sit bone, just keep a little softness to the knee and continue to work into that lower leg. So as we inhale, we're going to sit tall. If you want to go deeper as we exhale, we're going to gently fold again from the lower spine. So keep the spine long. We might walk the hands toward that foot. Maybe shift that left leg bone back into the hip. Every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, fold. Looking toward that left big toe. And again, only folding as deeply as feels good. Conscious of those hamstrings. So sometimes if the hips are tight, those hamstrings might already be overstretched or over lengthened. So again, just listening to where we feel that stretch. One more breath here. We're going to get the left hand to catch hold of the strap. Keep drawing the toe toward the knee. We'll inhale the right arm back, up toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, we're going to bend the right elbow, place the palm of the hand to the back of the head and work that right elbow out. As we inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, hinge a little bit more to the left, but keep the heart open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. One more breath. And then slowly release the right hand back to meet left, and then slowly come all the way back up to seat. Lovely. From here, we're going to hug the left foot in, and we're just going to do a little bit of self-massage into that left foot. So we're going to start from the heel. We're going to use both thumbs, and we're literally just pushing the flesh away from the heel toward the toes. So again, I get a nice little massage here And just notice it's a little bit more tender toward the heel, or maybe as we come toward the center of the arch. So again, we're going all the way. And we can even come up through the center and then bring the flesh out to the sides. A nice little gliding action. Again, all the way up through to the toes. So again, just softening the arches of the feet here. And then when we get to the toes, we're going to get the right hand and we're going to place each finger between each toe. We might need the second hand just to help us with this. So we're trying to spread through the toes. And again, this is so good if you do suffer from feet issues like plantar fasciitis, even into the calf, even into the Achilles. So again, we've got a nice hold here. And again, we can support the foot using the left hand. And we're just going to make a few little circles, but into the toes. So not so much the ankle here. We can press forward and back. So again, just encouraging movement into those feet. So you'd be surprised how much time we spend on our feet day to day and how little time we actually spend looking after those feet that serve us so well. So again, taking your time here this morning. We're going to be kind to our feet. Trying to get a nice little stretch as we move the toes forward and back. And again, creating those lovely big circles. And you can even pull the toes out of the joints a little bit, creating a little bit of traction into the joints. So you're not going to pull them so hard that you're going to hurt yourself, but actually just create a little bit of space into those joints. Something that I use a lot myself, toe spreaders, so little silicone toe spreaders. And again, just starting with a couple of minutes and building, just trying to encourage that space. And I could do this all day, but we're going to move it over to the other side. So we're going to just gently release, just wriggle through the toes here. This should feel quite spacious. And then we're going to straighten those legs out again. Again, adjust the sit bones, get nice and comfortable. We'll hug the left knee in until the foot's in line with the right. Shift the sit bones forward to meet the heel. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. Extend the right arm forward, reach, and we'll wrap it around the left leg, hugging that leg into the body, feeling that into the left glute. If we want to go deeper into the hips, and if we have that space, we'll bend the right knee. Tuck the heel to the sit bone, but make sure both sit bones are solid on the earth. Inhale the left arm up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the left, we place the left hand on the ground behind us. Inhale, sit tall, draw the belly in. And as we exhale, gently twist, looking over the left shoulder. And again, we're starting that twist in the lower spine, and we're moving it all the way up through to the neck. Inhale, lengthen tall. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And then slowly inhale back to center, little twist to the right just to release, and then back to center again. If the heel's tucked in, we're going to straighten the leg out. Hugging the left knee toward the armpit, get a nice little release here, and then we'll rest the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Softening that right knee, we're going to wrap the strap around the ball of the right foot this time, again conscious of the hamstring. Tucking the elbows into the waist, and we'll straighten the leg as we press away through the heel. Draw the toes toward the knee, feel that in the lower leg. And again, if we're into the hamstring, it's just into the middle of the muscle, not so much into those joints. We might even shift that leg bone back into the hip socket here, creating a wee bit more space for our folds. And again, we can stay here, sitting tall, or we can inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, gently fold. Again, leading with the chest and bringing that movement from the lower back. So we're not rounding into the upper back. We're keeping a nice open heart. We might walk the hands along the strap. And again, don't feel that you have to stop where I am. You might feel that you've got a lot more range, but don't force it. Every inhale, lengthen, and every exhale, fold. Keep drawing those toes toward the knee. Looking toward that right big toe, we'll take 1 more breath. We're going to get the right hand, catch hold of the strap nice and close to the foot. We'll inhale the left arm back up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we'll bend the left elbow, place the palm of the hand to the back of the head, and then draw that left elbow back. As we inhale, lengthen through the side waist. And as we exhale, hinge the body a little bit more to the right, but we're still creating length into both sides. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. 2 more breaths. Keep the heart open, keep drawing that left elbow back. 1 more. And then slowly release the left hand back to meet right. We slowly sit all the way back up to seat. Lovely. And then we can release that strap off to the side for now. You can bring the right foot in to meet left. And this time we're going to work into the left foot. So again, supporting the left foot with the right hand. And we're going to gently massage all the way from the heel, all the way to just below the toes. So again, opposite foot to what we did the last time. Feel free to spread the flesh away. Hopefully you still feel a little bit of space into the toes of the opposite foot. And the more we do this, the more mobile we make our feet, the more solid we make our foundation. We start to really feel the ground beneath us and be able to react to that ground. And again, notice if it's a little bit tense in one part of the foot, just really easing out that tension as much as we can. Again, we're going to support the foot with the left hand, using the right hand, and again, we're going to space between those toes as much as we can. Again, don't be afraid to really press those fingers in, particularly if the toes haven't been stretched in a while. It might be a little bit harder to get into that place. And again, just supporting the foot with the left hand. And we're going to make a few little circles. Notice how that feels comparing to the other side. Again, we're really just working the toes here. If the ankle comes with, that's okay, but I want you to really focus that energy into the toes. We might flex and point. And again, don't be afraid to really stretch into the front, into the back. Noticing any little crunchy spots. Again, really enjoying those circles. Again, we might pull the feet, getting a little bit of traction into those joints. So we're pulling the toes away. And again, you're going to have to pull extremely hard to cause any damage here. Okay, so just really nice little bit of traction. And again, pointing, flexing, those circles. And funny, it's only when we do these things that we notice any little niggles or imbalances. So I'm finding quite a lot of little crunchiness into that left big toe that I wasn't aware of. And again, that can affect our balance. It can affect how we move, how we run, how we touch the ground, how we lift off the ground, particularly the big toe. So the big toe is so important. And you'll know that if you've ever broken your big toe, how much we rely on it for our stability and our balance. And again, I am spending a little bit of time here this morning, but I think it is important. This is something you can do in the evenings if you're sitting, relaxing, maybe watching the telly, whatever the case may be. Probably wouldn't encourage it at work unless you work from home. And again, it's something you can do just sitting on a chair, sitting on the sofa. Okay, I think we've done our job here. And again, we're just going to gently release the fingers and then just wriggle through the toes here, get a little bit of space and energy back into that foot. And then we can rest the left foot down to meet right. We're going to come to lie back on our mats. Feet are flat. We bring the hands out by the sides and gently, little by little, we're going to roll our way all the way down onto the ground. Lovely. Hugging the right knee in, we'll straighten the left leg. Right hand is on the knee, left hand is on the hip. Let's draw a few little circles into that right hip. So again, just mobilizing into those hips. Maybe the fingertips move to the knee, making those circles a little bit larger. And if that feels good, right hand comes to the ground. We're going to make those circles as large and as full as we possibly can. Just enjoying that movement, relax the shoulders. And even as we work into the hips here, noticing how those toes feel. Even just a couple of minutes, not even a couple of minutes, working into those feet can make a world of difference. And particularly if we do spend a lot of time on our feet. Just giving them that little release, that little relief. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Again, bringing the whole length of that left leg, or sorry, right leg into the movement. Exaggerating that movement into the right hip. So we're just looking for space and energy here as much as we can. And eventually we're going to hug the right knee back into the chest. We're going to reach for a strap again. This time we're going to wrap it around the back of the hamstring. You can double it over here if you wish. And we're going to press the hamstring into the strap until the right knee is stacked over the hip. And then we're going to straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling, drawing the toes toward the face. So this is going to be a little activated hamstring stretch stroke strengthener. So we're going to inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to lower the leg, but as we do so, we're placing resistance on that strap. So we're slowing the movement down. And then inhale, lift, but as we do so, we're pressing the back of the leg into the strap. So again, we're slowing the movement. Exhale, slowly lower. Continue here with your own breath. We're not touching down all the way. We're keeping that lower back pressed into the ground. But again, that strap is really important here. So we're using it to resist as we lower and to press into as we lift the right leg back up. It's a really nice way of creating range into the hamstrings without overstretching. And particularly if you're not too sure if the muscle is overstretched or tight, this is a much safer way of working into it. We're also getting mobilization into the hip here. We'll do one more. And we're going to meet with the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. Hug the right knee into the chest, give it a nice little squeeze. And then we're going to bend the left knee, place the foot flat to the ground, rest the right ankle just above the left knee, figure 4. Again, drawing that left toe toward the knee, press the right knee away from the body. Enjoy that space into the hip. And then we're going to lift the left foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, interlocking fingers or strap around the back of the hamstring. Walk the shoulder blades together, lengthen the spine. As we exhale, hug the left knee in. We're going to stay here this morning, just make a few little circles into the ankle as we're here. But I want you to really focus on releasing into that right hip. So again, working opposite ankle to opposite hip. Every exhale, drawing the left knee a little bit closer toward the face. We might reverse those circles. Again, a nice full rounded movement. Keep hugging that left knee in. Lower back is grounded. If it's not, use our strap to get a little bit more reach into those arms so that we can connect the lower back to the ground, but still work into that right hip. Lovely. We're going to relax here. Release the grip, release the left foot to the ground. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest. We're going to do a little bit of soft tissue release into that calf. So we're going to roll our leggings up if we have them. Going to get both thumbs and we're going to lock them into the muscle just above the heel. So kind of either side of the Achilles tendon, you're going to feel it, and we're going to pull the muscle away. We're pointing through the toes here. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, keep that lock. We're going to draw the toes toward the face. So we should feel the stretch between the thumbs and the heel. We're going to move those thumbs up along the muscle. Lock in, pull the muscle away from the heel. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face. So we're going to work all the way along the muscle, all the time locking the thumbs into the calf muscle. There's 2 bellies of that calf muscle, so it's kind of convenient if we have 2 thumbs. And we can work all the way. And we're feeling that stretch between the thumbs and the heel. And you might notice it feels a little bit more tender as we move up the muscle, or vice versa. It might have been more tender as we were down on Achilles. So it's a really nice self-massage technique. We're working the whole way up into the muscle. Really active here. And again, we can work all the lower leg muscles. We're just focusing on the calf here. We're going to go all the way up to just below the knee. And then when we get there, we're just going to gently knead out the muscle, almost like we're kneading dough. So again, up and down. And again, just softening into the belly of the muscle, up around the insertions, noticing any little crunchy bits, and just kind of gently rubbing them out. Lovely. And then we can relax. We can roll that leg and back down. We're going to rest the right foot to the ground and we'll hug the left knee in. Give it a nice little squeeze into the armpit. We'll straighten that right leg. Left hand is on the knee, right hand is on the hip. And we draw a few little circles into that left hip. Nice and slow. Relaxing with the breath, relaxing with the movement. Fingertips come to the knee. Those circles get a little bit larger. And if that feels good, left hand comes to the ground. We're going to make those circles as large as we possibly can. Pressing that lower back into the ground. Exaggerate the movement. Notice how it feels comparing to the other side. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction, nice and slow. Relax the breath. Melt the heart open, relax the shoulders, and just focusing everything into that left hip. Eventually, we're going to hug the left knee back into the chest, give it a nice little squeeze, and then we reach for our strap. We'll wrap it around the back of the left hamstring this time. And again, you can double it over if you wish. We're going to press the back of the leg into the strap until the knee is stacked over the left hip, and then we'll straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling, draw the toes toward the face. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, gently lower the leg, but as we do so, we're pulling on that strap. Inhale slowly up, and as we do so, pressing the back of the leg into the strap, slowing the movement right down. Exhale, lower, and continue here with your own breath. So again, we're not just moving the leg up and down, we're using that strap. We're pressing into the strap as we inhale up, and we're pulling on the strap as we allow that leg come down. So again, we're trying to slow down the movement. So the muscle is having to act as we place that resistance. Keep pressing the back of that right leg into the ground. If you feel unstable, you can always bend the right knee and flatten out the foot. We're going to meet with that left foot in the air and then hug the left knee into the chest. We can release the strap off to the side. Then bend the right knee, place the foot flat to the ground. We're going to rest that left ankle just above the right knee. Draw the left toe toward the knee, press the left knee away from the body. And if that feels good, we're going to lift the right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, and either interlock fingers or wrap our strap around the back of that right hamstring. As we inhale, walk the shoulder blades together, connecting with the spine. And as we exhale, draw the right knee a little bit closer toward the face as we press the left knee away from the body, feeling that into the left hip. Staying here, working with your breath. If you wish, you can make a few little circles into that right ankle. Again, just taking advantage of the time to mobilize into our foundations, but really focusing on drawing that right knee in and feeling that into the left hip. Relax the breath, melting the shoulders to the ground, maybe reversing those circles, opposite direction. Slowly, slowly. And relax. We're going to release the grip, release the right foot to the ground. We'll hug the left knee into the chest. Again, a little bit of soft tissue release or STR. We're going to roll that leg up so we've got some skin on skin connection here. Getting our two thumbs. We're pointing through the toes to start with. We're going to pull the muscle away from the heel. So again, we're locking in either side of the Achilles here, that nice big tendon at the end of the calf. We're going to inhale here. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the knee, keeping that lock. Move the thumbs up along the muscle. Inhale here as we point. Exhale, flex. Continue with your own breath. So we're working the whole length of that muscle. As we do so, we're pressing into the muscle. We're holding that lock, and then we're drawing the toe toward the knee. So we're feeling that stretch between the thumbs and the heel. And again, you decide on the pressure. You can put a little bit more pressure, a little bit less, depending on how the body feels this morning. And again, as I mentioned, we can work into the other muscles of the lower leg. It's a really accessible part of the body for this self-massage. But for now, we're just looking at the calf. All the way up. Important that we don't press in behind the knee joint itself. So there's a lot of stuff going on in behind that knee. So we just want to go to just below that point. And then we've got there, we're just going to gently knead out the muscle, working up and down the muscle, almost like we're kneading bread or kneading dough. We can use a little bit of friction if it feels good. Again, just get a little bit of blood flow stimulation. Lovely. And then when you're ready, we can pull that leg and back down if we're wearing them. Lovely. And then we'll hug both knees into the armpits, making sure that lower back is planted on the ground. We're going to make a few little circles into the ankles. So we're in a little happy baby here. Variation. Then a few little circles, and then in opposite direction. Massaging out that lower back. Come into stillness here. If you wish to come into full happy baby, we're going to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. Catch and hold at either calf, shins, ankles, inner arches of the feet, or maybe interlock the middle and index finger around the big toes. Just make sure that lower back is solid on the earth, and if it's not, bring the hands a little bit closer back to the knees. We're going to inhale, press soles of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the knees down toward the ground beside us. Hips are wide. Inhale, press up. Exhale, draw down. Continue with your own breath. We're working the heels away from each other, or we're working the knees away from each other. If we're already a little bit spacious in the hips, those elbows might want to pop inside the knees. So allow them, but don't force them. One more breath here. And then hug both knees back into the chest. We're going to crisscross the ankles. Options to make your way any way to seat, or you can rock and roll with me. Just the ones. We're going to bring ourselves forward into a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. Bringing the hands out front, we're going to step back onto the knees, coming into a nice strong tabletop at the center of the mat. We'll tuck the toes under here. From our tabletop, we're going to draw the belly button in. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward, and as we exhale, sit back toward the heels. So we're just moving forward and back here. Gaze is relaxed. Pressing the ground away as we sit back toward the heels. We're going to sit a little bit more over to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale, sit a little bit more over to the right. And continue alternating left to right, trying to draw those hips all the way back to the heels. Again, just encouraging movement here. Get a nice little stretch into the arches of the feet here as well, with those toes tucked under. And then we're going to make a few nice big circles to the right. Allow the head and neck fully release. So from our tabletop, we're making those lovely large circles, trying to get those sit bones all the way back. Really rolling into the neck here. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Again, just allowing ourselves flow with that movement. And then come all the way back into center. From here, we bring the knees together, feet together. We're going to sit back on to the heels. We're going to use our block for this next one. So we're going to sit up off the ground. We're going to place the block so that we can sit our right sit bone onto the block. So just our right. And tuck that foot in right in line with the block. We're just going to press those feet into the ground. And then we're going to step that left foot out in front. And you can come to a lower level if it feels better. I just don't want you to compress too much into that knee. And then from here, sitting back onto the block, right hand is on the ground, and we're just going to gently draw the left toes toward the leg. So just get a nice little stretch here. We're still pressing the front of that right foot into the ground, and we're just going to hold it here for 3. For 2. And 1, release. From here, we're going to walk the hands behind us. So again, just getting a little bit deeper into that right quad, but keep that right knee toward the center of the body. It's not splaying out to the right. So we can come all the way back, just until we feel that stretch. We don't need to lie all the way back to the ground. And we're just going to pause here for 3, for 2, and 1, gently coming back up. And then from here, we can press the finger pads into the ground and just gently lift that right knee. Just as high as feels good. Holding it for 3, for 2, and 1, release. And then we bring that left knee back to meet right this time. We can sit that left sit bone onto the block. Now we might need the block, we might want to come the whole way down to the ground, but I want you to be conscious that we're not compressing too much into the knee. We can always roll up a towel underneath the knee and that'll take the pressure off the joint as well. So again, knees are together here. And again, we're going to step that right foot out in front here. Pressing the front of that left foot into the ground. We're just going to grab hold of the ball of that right foot from above and gently draw the toes toward the face. As we do so, we're pressing the foot to the ground. So again, we're resisting that stretch. And we're just going to hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1, release the foot. We're going to walk those hands behind us, fingertips point forward. Again, keeping that left knee centered, walking back until we start to feel that nice release into the left quad. And when we feel it, we can pause here. Now we can sink all the way back onto the back, but this morning we're just going for a nice gentle release. Holding it here, pressing that left knee and that left foot into the ground for 3, for 2, and 1, gently walk the hands forward. Pressing the finger pads into the ground, we're just going to lift that left knee, even just a little bit. You can come a little bit higher if you want to get a bigger stretch into the front of the left ankle. We'll hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1, release the knee. We're going to bring that right knee back around to meet left. This time we're sitting both sit bones onto the block, so we can change it to its lengthwise position. Get nice and comfortable here. We bring the knees together and we allow the heels come out. So we're keeping the knees together, but we're bringing the feet out away from the body. Lovely. And again, we can stay here, just feeling that nice stretch. That might be enough. Otherwise, we can walk the hands back. So we're working into both quads this time, but keep the knees together, working them all the way back. We might even come down onto the forearms. But again, we're pressing the knees together and toward the ground. And we can take the gaze up. Again, no stress in the neck here. And we're just going to pause here. Again, we can come all the way down to the ground if it feels good. Holding it, releasing for 3, for 2, and 1. Little by little, we're going to bring ourselves all the way back up to seat. We can remove the block off to the side and come back up onto all fours into our tabletop. Feet and knees about hip distance apart. We'll tuck the toes under and walk the hands forward to the front of the mat. We'll look back between the feet. We're going to press the hands and feet into the ground. Lift the hips toward the ceiling and then gently lower the heels down toward the ground, coming on to our downward dog. Gently walk it out, allowing opposite heel melt softly toward the ground, even if it doesn't quite get there. Just with that intention of releasing. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath. Coming to stillness in our downward dog, we're going to place the front of that right foot to the ground and just press the foot toward the ground. So we're just getting a nice little stretch into the front of the ankle. We might move it to the left, we might move it to the right, stretching into ankle and toes. And then we're going to reverse. So again, pointing the left foot, and we're going to rest the front of the foot toward the ground. Still in our downward dog, and just pressing that left foot into the ground so we feel that stretch in the ankle. And again, feel free to bring it to the left, bring it to the right. Notice how that feels within the foot. And then we bring that left foot back to meet right, looking forward between the hands. We're going to gently paddle our way to the front of the mat, coming to a nice wide-legged forward fold. Catching hold of opposite elbows and let everything relax here. Belly is connected to the legs, and we're just going to sway the body side to side. Relax the head, relax the neck. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance apart here. Relax the breath. Making those arcs a little bit larger, so we're starting to feel this into the hips and into the sideways. A little bit larger again. And little by little, we're going to continue to arc side to side, but we're going to gently bring ourselves all the way up to stand. Head comes up last. We can release that grip of the elbows and just allow them melt down by the side. Lovely. We're going to go into our flow practice. Take a little drink here if you need. Starting with a little bit of balance, just to challenge those lower legs. So coming to the front of the mat, a little bit of space out in front. Feet are nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Palms are by the sides and face forward. We're going to inhale, lift the right knee out in front. Again, you can do this beside a wall if you need a little bit of extra balance here, just touching off the wall. And then from here, we bring the hands to heart. We can stay here, or we can rest the right ankle just above or just below the knee, working that right hip open. Again, we can stay here, finding that point out in front to fix your gaze. If the ankle is above the knee, we can gently soften the left knee as we sit back into our half chair. Keep drawing the belly in. Try not to lean too far forward, too far back. Keep pressing that right knee away from the body. As we sit back, we're going to really feel that into the lower left leg. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale all the way back up. Drawing that right knee out in front. We're going to soften the left knee and gently step back all the way onto the ball of that right foot. Nice high lunge. We're going to bend into the left knee, press back through the right heel. Again, just holding it here. I want you to be really active through that right heel as we straighten through the right leg, holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to frame the left foot with both hands. We're going to step the right foot toward the center of the mat. So there's about a foot, foot and a half between the left heel and the front of that right foot. And then see if we can straighten the legs. So we can either keep the fingertips to the ground, we can use our blocks, or we can rest the hands onto that left shin. Body is turned to the front. We have a nice long spine here. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, see if we can fold a little bit more. And again, noticing where we're feeling that into the left leg. If it's too intense in the hamstring, soften that left knee. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Soften the left knee. Finger pads come to the ground. We're going to step back into our low lunge. So again, hands either side of the left foot. That might be enough, just pressing back through the heel. If we want to intensify it, we can lower it to the knee, press the front of the right foot into the ground and lift that right knee. Again, allow those hips to release. Breathing into that space for 3, for 2, and 1. Wherever we are, we're going to lower that right knee to the ground. We're going to draw the right heel toward the bum. We can stay here, or with the left arm, we can reach to catch hold of the front of that foot, either with the hand, or we can wrap a strap around the foot, and we're drawing the heel a little bit closer toward the body. We're looking over the left shoulder and just getting a nice little release into the front of that right quad. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the grip. Left hand comes back to the ground. We'll tuck the right toe under. Shift the body weight forward. We'll step the right foot up to meet left. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second side when you're ready. Feet nicely planted, hip width distance apart. Arms by the sides, palms are forward. Grounding the right foot into the mat. We're going to inhale, lift the left knee out in front. Again, just looking for stillness here. We'll bring the hands to heart. Find our drishti point, our point of focus out in front. When we find stillness here, we can rest the left ankle just above or just below that right knee. And again, we can stay here, really spreading through the toes of that right foot. If the ankle is above the knee, we can try softening the right knee and sitting back into a little half chair. And again, just lowering until you start to feel that nice stretch into the lower right leg. We don't need to go all the way down here. And we're just going to pause here for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale all the way back up. We'll bring that left knee out in front, soften the right, and as we exhale, step back into our high lunge, onto the ball of the foot, and again, just sinking into those hips. Trying to really straighten that back leg and press away through the heel as much as we can. Holding it here, releasing for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to frame the right foot. We're going to step that left foot forward until there's about a foot and a half between the right heel and the left big toe. Again, we're going to try to straighten the legs, so we can either keep the fingertips on the ground, bring them to a block, or we can rest the hands onto that right shin. Pressing the chest forward, lengthening through the spine, and as we exhale, fold. And again, only going as deep as feels good for those hamstrings. So not overstretching, not over lengthening. Relax the head, relax the neck. For 3, for 2, and 1. Soften the right knee, placing both hands either side of the foot. We're going to step back into our low lunge. So we're still on the ball of the foot here. Sinking the hips toward the ground. We can either be on the hands or on the finger pads or on our block. Again, if we want to intensify it, we can soften the left knee to the ground, untuck the toe, and then press the front of the foot into the ground. That right knee is stacked over the heel. Holding it here, releasing into the hips for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to release the left knee if it's not there already. Bend the left knee, draw the heel toward the bum. And again, from here we can stay, or we can get that right hand and reach to catch hold of the left foot. Either with the hand, or we can wrap a strap around the foot. Take your time here, or a resistance band if we have it. We're drawing the heel toward the bum, but we're pressing that foot into the hand or strap. We can look over the shoulder. In time, we can bring the heel of the hand over the toes and the right elbow up toward the ceiling and bring the gaze forward. Just really feeling that into the left quad for 3, for 2, and 1. Release. Right hand comes back to the ground. We're going to tuck the left toe under, come off the knee. Gently shift the body weight forward to step the left foot up to meet right, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to your center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second round when you're ready. Again, meeting at the front, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Arms by the sides, palms are forward, grounding that left foot. We're going to inhale, the right knee out in front. And bringing the hands to heart. We might stay here, we might rest the right ankle just above or just below the knee. If it's above, we're going to gently sit back into our half chair. Again, try not to overarch that lower back. Keep drawing the belly in, finding that point out in front to fix our gaze. Sitting back for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale back to stand, bring the right knee out in front, and as we exhale, bend the left knee, we'll step back into our high lunge. Inhale here, exhale, sink. Really pressing back through the right heel. We'll hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Frame the left foot with both hands, step the right foot so it's about a foot behind the other, foot and a half. Staying on the fingertips or on our blocks, or placing the hands to the front of that left foot or shin. If we've got our hands on the shin, I want you to use that connection to press the chest forward, lengthening through the spine as we exhale, fold for 3, for 2, and 1. Soften the left knee, both hands either side of the foot. We're going to step back into our low lunge this time. Again, staying here or releasing the right knee to the ground, untuck the toe and maybe press the foot into the ground for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the right knee. Again, keeping the right hand on the ground, we're going to draw the right heel toward the bum, and if we wish, we can reach with the left hand to catch hold of the foot or our strap. We might come up onto the finger pads here on the right. We might bring that left hand over the toes. Bring the left elbow toward the ceiling and take the gaze forward. If you want to make a little bit more balance, we can try hovering that hand off the ground or rest it onto the left thigh. But again, I want you to make sure that you're feeling that release into the right quad for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the grip. Both hands come to the ground. Tuck the right toe under. Gently shift the body weight forward to lift the right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second round, second side, arms by the sides, palms foot forward. Find our focus point out in front, grounding that right foot into the mat. We're going to inhale, lift left knee out in front, bringing the hands to heart, finding stillness, maybe resting that left ankle just above or just below the knee. If it's above, see if we can soften the right knee and gently sit back into our chair, drawing the belly in. Try not to lean too far forward, too far back. We're going to hold it here, feeling that into the right lower leg for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale all the way back up. Bring the left knee out in front. As we exhale, soften the right knee. We're going to step all the way back into our high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, sink and release. Keep pressing back through that left heel, holding it here, releasing for 3, for 2, and 1. Frame the right foot with both hands. We'll step the left foot forward till it's about foot and a half behind the right heel. Straightening both legs, again, fingertips to the ground, to the blocks, or we can rest the hands to the front of the foot or shin. Pressing the hands into the leg, into the ground, into the block, lengthening through the spine, and as we exhale, fold. And again, we don't need to go too deep here, just till you feel a nice little bit of length. Holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. Softening the right knee, frame the right foot. We're going to step the left foot back until we're in a nice low lunge, sinking those hips toward the ground. Maybe rest the left knee to the ground, untuck the toe. Press the front of the left foot into the ground. Engage with those leg muscles to lift the left knee off the ground. Still releasing into the hips for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the knee, tuck the left toe under, gently shift the body weight forward to lift the left foot up to meet right, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Last round when you're ready. Coming to the front, arms by the sides, feet nicely planted. Palms flip forward, grounding that left foot. We're going to inhale, lift the right knee out in front. Hands to heart, resting the right ankle either just above or just below that left knee. If it's above, we're going to sit. Again, feeling that into the lower left leg, holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale all the way up, bring that right knee out in front. We're going to soften the left knee, step back onto the ball of the right foot, softening into the hips, pressing back through the right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Frame the left foot. We'll step the right foot till it's a foot and a half behind the left heel. Again, both legs are straight here. Bring the hands up to the leg if you need. Holding it, lengthening through the spine for 3, for 2, and 1. Framing that left foot. We're going to step the right foot all the way back into our low lunge. Again, we can rest the right knee to the ground, untuck the toe. Press the foot into the ground, maybe lift that knee, holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the knee, tuck the right toe under, gently shift the body weight forward to lift the right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Last side, arms by the sides, palms are forward, grounding the right foot. We're going to inhale, lift the left knee out in front, hands to heart. Resting the left ankle just above or just below that right knee. We're going to gently sit back if it's above. Sitting until we feel that challenge in the right leg for 3, for 2, And one, inhale, straighten the right leg, bring the left knee out in front. Soften the right knee, we're going to step back into our high lunge. Sinking the hips, drawing that left heel back. Relax the shoulders, draw the belly in for 3. For 2. And 1. Framing the right foot, we're going to step that left foot till it's a foot, foot and a half behind the right heel. Again, both legs are straight, so again, fingertips to the ground, to the block, or maybe to rest onto that right shin. Pressing the hips back, drawing the heart forward for 3. For 2. And 1, both hands frame that foot. We're going to step the left foot back into our low lunge. Again, we can stay here or rest the left knee down on top of the toe. Press the front of the foot into the ground, lifting that left knee off the ground. We pause here for 3. For 2. And 1, release the knee. Again, like we did in the previous round, we're going to work into that left quad. So we're going to bend the left knee and draw the heel toward the bum. And again, we can stay here. We might get the right hand, rotate through the shoulder and reach to catch hold of the front of the foot, either with the hand or the strap. Drawing that heel toward the bum and pressing the foot into the hand. The hand might come up and over that foot, and that elbow might point toward the ceiling. We might bring the chest forward. We might come up onto the fingertips. Again, if we want to challenge the balance, we might bring the left hand to rest onto the leg. But just notice, we want to feel that into the quad. So if we're more focused on the balance, we might start to lose that stretch. So again, just listening to your own body here for 3. For 2. And 1, release the foot. Release the right hand to the ground. We're going to tuck the left toe under. Come off the knee gently, shift the body weight forward to step the left foot up to meet right. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, thumbs to heart. Lovely. We're going to bring it to the wall for our last pose this morning. So again, if you want to get a layer or a blanket, we're going to get our mats and we're going to bring them parallel to the wall. Or sorry, perpendicular to the wall. I'm getting my mats wrong here this morning. We can remove the block and the strap out of the way. So just that we have support underneath the whole length of the body. We bring that mat perpendicular to the wall. We can bring it right up to it. There we go. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves, our bodies, parallel to the wall. We're about a couple of fists away from the wall here, and then we're going to recline back. We're going to use our elbows on our forearms and our upper arms to bring ourselves now that we're perpendicular to the wall. Scooting the body a little bit closer toward the wall, as close as we can get, but just make sure as we straighten our legs up toward the wall that the lower back is still connected to the ground. So you might need to shift back a little bit here if not. Lovely. We're going to stay here for a couple of moments, just drawing the toes toward the knees, because this could be a really nice way of getting into the lower legs and hamstrings. Sometimes if you can use little sandbags and rest them to the balls of the feet, nice little recovery pose. This morning we're going to use it also for a nice little hip opener. So allowing the wall to take the full weight of the legs, and we're going to allow those heels melt away from each other. Allow the feet drop out to the sides. We might rest those hands in the inner thighs, just as an extra little bit of consciousness to where we're feeling that release. Relax the shoulders, connect the whole length of the spine to the ground. Close down the eyes. So again, the wall is supporting the legs. The ground is supporting the body. And we're just allowing ourselves release into that space. Again, we're really releasing into those feet, those ankles, opening into the heart. And just trying to ease the body little by little, switching it off. Noticing any little points of tension. Maybe starting with the feet and working all the way up through to the face. Every exhale, allow ourselves relax, release, and melt out a little bit more. Really focusing on that lovely full belly breathing. As we breathe deeply into the belly, just feeling the rib cage expand, feel the diaphragm lift, feel the heart open. As you exhale, relax, release, and let it go. And just taking your time here, just enjoying the space for what it is. This is a really lovely restorative pose, a really nice little reset. A form of inversion, like our headstands or handstands, just a little bit less stressful. Again, we can just allow the body flush itself out. Noticing the face, notice if we're clenching the jaw, just gently part the lips to release. Notice if we're frowning, and just gently melt out the forehead. Softly, softly. And just a couple of more moments here, really allowing yourself to surrender into the pose. When you're ready, we're going to get both hands and place them to the outside of the legs. And just gently press into the legs. We're kind of internally rotating those legs toward each other, taking the pressure off the hips. And then using the hands, little by little, we're going to bring the legs back off the wall. You can keep the softness to the knees and maybe wriggle into the hips, wriggle into the feet, whatever feels good. And then again, using our elbows and our arms, we're going to scooch our way away from the wall until we have a nice little bit of space there. And then we'll hug both knees into the chest. And then release the breath. We're going to slowly roll over onto our right hand side. Take a couple of moments here just to allow the body reset, reconnect. And when you're ready, we press the left hand into the ground to slowly draw ourselves all the way up to seat. Head comes up last. And then we're going to bring ourselves to any comfortable seat that's good for you this morning. So it could be easy cross-legged. Could be sitting back onto the heels, could be sitting up on the couch, whatever feels good. So coming back to where we started, a nice long spine, nice open heart, nice engaged core. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling and we'll finish. Inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh it out and let it go. We'll do that twice more. Nice big stretch. And release. Gently bringing the hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourself for creating a little bit of space in your morning to come to the mat, to look after yourself, to create some great energy, some lovely release, and hopefully take that with you into the day and into the rest of the week ahead. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.